Hello YouTube, welcome to my travel vlog. We are going on vacation to Vancouver and Victoria in Canada. We're traveling from Montreal, so it's about a 5-hour flight. Then it's about 2 hours from Vancouver to downtown Victoria. Once in Vancouver, we took the train from the airport of Bridgetown, and then we caught the bus to the ferry. I recommend checking the bus schedule and the ferry schedule so that you can get to the ferry on time. If not, you can always Uber to the ferry. Once we got to the ferry, we bought our tickets. It was about $17.50 for a one-way. And take a flight straight to Vancouver, but I do recommend taking the ferry. It felt like this ride was a tour in itself. It was about an hour and a half, and they go through a bunch of islands. You even see houses or sometimes whales. From the ferry, we had one more bus to take to downtown Victoria, but this was a short ride.
Oh. I'll still take a picture. Come on. Come.
Say hello to my friends. Once off the bus, the Airbnb was only 2 blocks down in Chinatown, and it was beautiful. The next day, we took a food tour called A Taste of Victoria. Our tour guide, Andy, was absolutely amazing. He was so knowledgeable, and although it was a food tour, we got a history lesson whenever we weren't eating. We started off at the market where we had delicious fish tacos.
Pretty close. How do I get in with your tacos?
You're at the fish taco.
My fish taco.
So on Tuesdays,
right? 1, 2, 3.
buy 2 of those. There's very few Chinese that still live in this neighborhood. At the end of the 1800s, most of our original Chinese settlers moved over to the mainland. They worked on the Canadian Pacific Railway. Ended up settling in the outskirts of what is now Vancouver. So if you think of areas like Richmond near the airport there in Vancouver, 60% Mandarin speakers in that high school system. So that's where the majority of the Chinese population in this province now lives. So this neighborhood has become very culturally and ethnically diverse through totem poles carved by local artists. So you see the guardian lions, the female and the male at the entrance there, the various animals carved into the corners of the gates, again all designed to prevent and scare evil spirits coming down the main road and protecting the residents. We're going to walk underneath that archway on the left in a moment. It's good luck to do that locally. As we do, you'll see a time capsule on the ground.
And so this the actress comes in. She's this stunning girl. She's got this cute little apron and a silk blouse and high heels on. I'm like, I don't look like that in dream. She goes, I did something.
We're going to head up the fan tent. It's only 3.5 feet wide. They can't stop us in the middle, so
Andy took us through the alleyways of Canada's oldest Chinatown. This was super cool because Andy told us about how back in the day these alleyways were used to sell drugs and alcohol because they were banned, and now there's still businesses there, obviously not selling these things, but they use the space still. And it was really, really cool to hear about this history and actually walk down it. super
Mine
light.
still tastes like beer though. But
Yeah?
I think the aftertaste.
We finished the tour by the Empress Hotel, and overall, this tour was phenomenal. It covered all areas of the city, and Andy was a great tour guide. I will link it down below. If you are traveling to Victoria, I 100% recommend this tour. This memorial was at the steps of the BC Legislative Building. Numerous shoes, stuffed animals, and candles paid homage to 215 Indigenous children whose remains were found buried at the site of a residential school in Kamloops, BC.
That's what you're gonna do.
Prince of Wales.
Remind me where you guys are from.
Yeah, Brian, you rock that. Get it.
Yay!
Next, we were off to the best whale tour of my life. I am not saying that this specific tour is what made it the best tour ever. I think on this specific day, it was so beautiful because we just so happened to see so many whales and we saw them up close, so it just made the experience so amazing.
Wait, don't the birds say
We finally made it back to Vancouver and booked a bike tour that took us all around downtown Vancouver. We went through Chinatown, Stanley Park, Granville Island, and so many more places. This was a super great tour. The tour had about 6 people in it, and it was perfect for beginners.
So now we got a taste of the woods and the wild forest. Yeah, so Stanley Park is part of what we call the coastal temperate rainforest. So all the way down to Northern California, you got mountains. You got in the U.S. they call them Cascade Mountains. Up on the Canadian side we call them the Coast Mountains. So it's different than the Rockies, which are about 400, 500, 600 kilometers east of here.
made it to Granville Island. What do you have there?
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip, yummy. Look how pretty. This is the market. And Nicole. I love that song.
Chinese came over as laborers on the Cross-Canada Railroad because that was a huge, ambitious project to connect.
The next day we went to the Capilano suspension bridge.
Gandalf here, I refer to owls of superpower. Lashka there can see my glove moving on a field about this speed from 2 kilometers away. But at nighttime, Lashka actually has worse eyesight than you and I. So one of the great superpowers of an owl is their night vision. They see about 60% better than us at night time.
Thank you for watching my Vancouver travel vlog. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or if you're traveling to Vancouver and want some more suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. See you next time.